What's up? It's your boy Carcino here, man. Let's talk about it. I have seen a lot of things go in different directions. I'm serious. Oh, that's to let me know that I'm live here. Can't get one of those for Carcino for life yet. Don't know why. But hey, we're here, right? So let's get into this. There are a lot of people in the world, in the industry, that's sports media. In the 1980s, there were probably four in sports media that was covering sports that were black. Like two worked for USA Today, and you couldn't really fathom any other sports writer. Like they had local beat writers, and even the majority of those were white. Depending on which city you were in. But let's entertain this for a moment, okay? Just to be clear, that was in the 80s. Isaiah Thomas had to fight so that we can get black writers, black sports writers into the NBA. Other people had to fight to get blacks their position to have a platform to speak and be able to say, okay, we can be in those rooms. And now you still look today in the NBA and the NFL, it's more diverse in the media rooms than it's ever been in life. In boxing, we're pretty much it. Black sports media, it's like more amateur related content than ever. We're the lifeline because the main sports media don't really care. Then you have Jason Whitlock, who is a hack, who claims he's doing a journalistic approach or giving a journalistic standpoint, but he's not. Everything is with a slant. This is why I don't quote this man, even if he says something that is agreeable, because I know where his alliance lie. Even the devil can tell the truth sometimes. So you got to understand the type of person you're listening to. They'll give you a little bit of what you want to hear to lure you more into the web. And the more they lure you and lure you into the web, the worse it's going to become for you. Then you see their true alliance. You see the outkick. You see Tucker Carlson and what they are into victim shaming. They can't look at a situation for what it is without turning it into some spin angle to making it a whole cause as the reason. So they're woke. This is why this is happening. Tom Hanks, his movie career is fit. See what the woke media do? They're turning against him. He was protected. They say stupid stuff like this. Then they say things like, you see, the thing with Tyree Nichols, that tragic situation, because it's five black police officers, they're almost doing backflips because it's like the woke mob can't say nothing now. They're black. So he takes the time to highlight black officers and is doing this. But notice how quickly the legal system is working. When there's a black um, female who is in charge of the police department, she's the head. Five black police officers do something. Look how quickly the system is working to get that done. Then you think about George Floyd and you start saying, look how slowly the legal system worked in that situation. And that was on tape. Look how fast this is working. But they don't point that out. What they're giving you, what Whitlock is giving you, is he goes on national TV, goes on national television, on a Fox syndicated program, and spew ridiculous jargon about single black mothers are responsible. This happens because of the results of single black parents. When there's a lot of people that grew up with single black parents in their household and they were outraged. But like I said, it's about who says it and who you respect. Nobody respects Jason Whitlock. He's a hack. He says trolling things. He will say things in tragic situations to try to get attention and views. He thought he was worth something because he was Steven from Django and thought Steven thought he was going to get a big old fat, juicy, multi-million-dollar deal. And he all came in there and they told him, no, all we giving you is this. But he's like, but I sold out. I did everything you asked me to do. We don't care. This is all we can give you. You don't like it, kick rocks. So he's like, I'm Jason Whitlock. I'm kicking rocks. I'm betting on myself. Which I wasn't mad about that. That's what a man should do. Thought he would wake up and realize he was being used to go against his own people. But nope. He needed those people because that's who his fan base is. All right wing supporters who don't like people like you. Right wing agenda based. Now, I don't want to come off as a Democrat and left wing supporter because I'm not. I am not a Democrat. I am not a Republican. I am a man of the people who tells it like it is. See, people have the agenda based system because this is what Whitlock wants. He wants this to happen. Sierra just spoke out about what he said on national TV, throwing single black women under the bus. He loved that. You know why? Because y'all are not his target audience. How many of us watch or listen to Jason Whitlock? Raise your hand. No one. And the reason no one loves LeBron James and Jason Whitlock and people like this, the real people rather, is they see the phoniness. I've exposed LeBron as a basketball player and come to find out in real life he's just as phony. So, and it's a facade, all of it. He's just propaganda. He's a walking propaganda piece. And this Whitlock is the walking puppet. And he's selling and saying anything that's going with the pro right wing because they support him. That's where his fan base is. So as long as they got someone that's our complexion and they're talking on the internet and saying the things that they want to say but can't say because they don't have our complexion, they just point to him. Look at him. Whitlock, see, he understands. There's no good Negro out there. And he's like, you know it. And that's coming from a Negro. No such thing as a good one. That's what he said. Look, why does Jason Whitlock hate black people and he's black? A lot of people say that. He hates black people. Here's a person who's upset and unhappy with himself. He's grown up, probably been teased by all these athletes and people that played sports and did all that. And he was too big, huffing and puffing, couldn't do nothing but just throwing down cheeseburger and they calling him fatty and all these things. So now he goes against his own people. Whitlock, you know I seen you in the strip club. Now we're gonna keep that quiet. We're gonna keep that between me and you. But I saw you in them strip clubs. Keep that, we're gonna keep that quiet. Nice and quiet. Now, Jason Whitlock is someone that's known in this industry not for being professional. He's known for someone that is very controversial and feels that he's better than any yeah, I know he played at Ball State. I mean, he was on the team at Ball State because he was big. They was like, get your big ass out there. That's it. But he wasn't good enough to go pro. But he went into journalism and he feels like I'm a journalist now. I'm in the journalistic world, and you pro athletes don't know what this world is like. I have more experience than this. I'm a professional, and he wants to feel like he's superior to somebody on something. And the reality is, he's superior to anything. No, I mean, here's the thing. How do you blame single black mothers for what five individuals decide to do to another individual? That's a hell of a jump. He said, I can tell you already don't watch the show. He said he'd be in the strip clubs flirting with all the women. Nothing new. You're right. I'm not stupid enough to watch his show. Why would I watch his show? And your name is, what's that? Knowledge is real. If knowledge is real, why the hell are you watching Whitlock? If Jason Whitlock was right, I would not have been making this video. Single black mothers is not the cause of what you saw right there. That's failure by the system, Jason Whitlock. Let's talk about that. Let's actually open the door to the conversation. Let's go into his ignorance. He's saying single black females. Well, okay, let's go there. Why are there a lot of single black females, Jason Whitlock? Single black mothers, rather, Jason Whitlock. Why the fathers are not around is because your right wing people created a surefire system of government assisted living to provide the income that the male would provide, making sure the male isn't around in exchange for a check. Hmm? So they gave up a father for a check, as if his only value is the money he provides. That's his only value. No, they knew a male's influence, a father's influence on a child, mainly a son, when they go into adulthood. Most women cannot control young men once they hit teenage. They try to even bully their parents and think they the man of the house. They can say what goes and what don't go. And they ended up falling into the streets. But see, they feed that not to us, they feed it to their target audience, which makes it dangerous and reckless for Jason Whitlock to propagandally promote that to white America who already think it. Conservative white America already has those false narratives about us as a people, and you put that out there for them to champion. Yes, and one of the requirements is the man can't be around. Think about that and how damaging that was to the community, to families. So if you're going to call something out, call the system out. Like someone gets stabbed, are you going to blame the knife or the hand that wields it? What are we doing? But you have reckless people like Jason Whitlock, who's only doing it because he gets donations from these conservative white people who donate to him to keep doing what he's doing. So he's getting money and making bags of money doing it and donations. So he gonna keep preaching that old Stephen from doggone Django type of lingo. Did I watch a soundbite of the whole conversation because he called out the system in the beginning? I don't listen to that guy. Why do you keep coming in here promoting this guy as if he's the savior? If you champion what that nonsense said, I don't need to hear another word. When that man said black women, black single mothers, and called and blamed them for that young man dying, he did not have that energy for George Floyd. Matter of fact, he starts bringing up George Floyd's criminal history. That's what they said. That's why I listen to Night Train. Public Enemy made Night Train. Nice love. Y'all look on out for the night train. The night train, baby. From a man looking just like you. Selling you out. So when you put your loyalty in skin only instead of the character of a person, and you omit certain things that they do, but you got an alliance to them, like, I gotta admit that. I like him. I need him for business and he good for business. Once you allow yourself to that, one time out of 1,000, they're gonna end up doing exactly the same thing. When people show you who they are, believe them. Because they doing this to somebody else down the road, they're gonna do it to you too. Oh, thank you, man. It's just that listening to all sides is cool if you want to, but listening to Jason Whitlock to me is a waste of time because I know what he's already about. He ended up just showing and proving to me everybody else. I have a friend that like listens to him from time to time, and he's believing this nonsense. I know better than to listen to him. He'll say something that's right, and then everybody like, yeah, and I'll be like, yeah, that's right. What he said was there was right. But like I told you, the devil will say something right every now and then. But I know at the core what he is. You see, I know at the core what he is. We and him might say the same thing about another subject, but I already know where his alliance is. Right? Just because somebody agree with you on a subject, don't mean that they with you. They don't mean that they have any moral values of any type, any whatsoever. Yeah, he interviewed Kwame Brown. Him and Kwame Brown had a great interview. I watched that interview. That interview went fine, and me and Kwame are cool. So it's not like I'm cool with Kwame because he likes some of the views of Jason Whitlock. It ain't like I'm calling Kwame, yeah, man, you on that Whitlock show. I hate him. What you doing over there? That's what he feels like because he actually says some things that relate to people in life that they went through, and they'll go, yeah, I relate to that. But at the core, I know what Jason Whitlock is. He can't fool me. He can't. You can't fool me, Whitlock. I know what you are. You will do anything for that dollar. I saw you in them strip clubs. I saw you in the strip clubs. I had pity for him. You know, he been teased his whole life for being a big dude. And and just being out of shape, poor eating habits. And when you're that big and you're in that situation, um, it's probably a rough life for him. But of course, I was in a strip club. What you mean? I'm VIP. I'm VIP at every strip club I go to. Think I worked? I wasn't in the strip club. How you think I saw him? Now, listen. No, his thing is, you seen this. He's been scorned. You could tell when you could see if somebody is like they're living a lie or they went through something that was like damning to them. You could tell he's been scorned. He's been scorned a lot. Like he probably walked down the aisle or going to school. They was like, look at these titties, y'all. Look at fat boy. You know, he's bullied, picked on. And they probably were people that looked just like him, black people. So he hated him. Grew up with a dislike for his own people. Looking at all these professional athletes running around, six packs and all this stuff. And only six pack he got is that six pack of, Coca-Cola. And, he throwing that down with some pizza. He was dressing sloppy, stains all on his shirt. He's in the break rooms, like crumbs everywhere. And it's looking like, man, yo, look, the break room is not supposed to look like this. You got to think about other people here at the Fox studios. So it was not looking good for him for a while. It was hard for him when the elevator broke. He had to get up them stairs. That was rough. He said ketchup stains is the worst. I mean, dude, this guy was, the thing he complained about, he likes the rappers. He want to be able to live that life. He want to be able to go in a place and he like, man, look at all the chicks and they all on him. He want that attention. But he knows his physical appearance is not going to get that attention. So now he talks badly about it. The person that talk about the guy that can dunk and do that and they can't do it. Like, I do everything else. I can pass, do that. Why waste my time dunking when I can just shoot the basketball? So I perfected my shot because I don't want to go in there to throw your knees out doing all that jumping. So they hate what they can't do. They hate the fact that these guys could come in flashy clothes and get them. He can put on anything flashy he won't. It ain't gonna help him. He put on an all red suit and something. They're gonna be, hey, Kool-Aid. You know, anybody want some Kool-Aid? And this dude lost about 50, 60 pounds. He lost about 50, 60 pounds. And he's still fat. So he's mad that everybody attacks his weight, you know, but this is what he does. They're gonna look at you and be like, how in the world you could talk about anybody? Who are you to give this expert opinion? And then this expert opinion that's not even about sports. Your thing is sports journalism, right? You're supposed to be, you're under a sports personality. what do you know about single black mothers and this situation with the police in Memphis? Why are you so connected to it? But it's funny to me how five black police officers is a gang, and you declaring them and writing them off as a gang because it's five black police officers. But when George Floyd's situation, you didn't think they operated as a gang. Now, what's the difference in that situation besides color? But according to good old Whitlock, everything is everything. Told you I've experienced it here. A rich guy's son hits my car, damn near killed me, left the scene of a crime, took off after ramming in my car. They found his license plate in the middle of the road. And then on top of that, they found him. But never told me, good morning, Kwame, never told me that they found the guy. The police officer, and I still probably got the card to this day, wrote on the back of the card, he said, just call this number. They're going to take care of everything. This the police giving me a card to call somebody that's going to take care of it. Like, well, it's going to get taken care of. Just call that number. Why? I'm very uncomfortable with this. They telling me don't get a lawyer. Just call that number and it's going to be taken care of. And I'm like, I don't know this dude. You the police. This your job to investigate this. So they charge him with leaving the scene of a crime. So when you black and you hit somebody and take off, that's called a hit and run. Different crime, different time. But when you rich and a white man's son, a rich white man's son, and you hit somebody's car, it's called leaving the scene of a crime. Let that sink in. So it's the verbiage and how things are said that leads to different laws and different penalties for those laws. Now, him pointing out single, and I want to address Whitlock again because once again, his knowledge is skewed and his agenda is known. He does these things on purpose to try to shame black people. Now, while going on Tucker Carlson, he pointed out that single black mothers are partially responsible in what part they play. Okay. Do you realize in the state of Minnesota, the same system, meaning the government that provided this assisted living, most of the people that are on welfare in Minnesota is Caucasian. A lot of them are single mothers. They're not single black mothers, they're single white mothers. And they're on welfare. And they are the largest in Minneapolis. In Minnesota, right? Now, here's the case. You never hear nothing about what's happening there. What is happening in those areas? High crime, poverty, the trailer homes area that they got all torn down, drug usage, the same thing that happens in any community. So it's not relative to color. It's about condition. It's about the systematic problems that you created. You could put Asian people over there. It's a systematic problem. So it's not a problem of color. I remember Ryan Clark said something in the interview about why they not promoting two black quarterbacks that are going into the Super Bowl. They're going to do that. That's part of it. That they want to do that because the NFL wants to show we're not racist. They want to show that and tell that rather than actually being that. So what they're going to do is promote we're not racist. So we got two black quarterbacks in the Super Bowl. We've made progress. That they want to show you, right? What else do they want to show you? I told you the stories they're going to promote. The two Kelsey brothers in the Super Bowl, right? Andy Reid used to coach the Eagles, and now he's going against his old team in the Super Bowl. They've never beaten, he's never lost to his old team. They're going to promote that. Kelsey brothers, two black quarterbacks in the Super Bowl. There's your three. That's it. For 2 weeks, that's what you finna hear. Get ready. The script is already written. They just got to perform it. And the problem is the fact that they're actually saying two black quarterbacks. That is a problem. And the reason why that's a problem is it shows you right there from that example that we are not respected and we don't qualify and we don't count. By them highlighting that fact, it really marginalizes us. And the reason why is because Doug Williams, the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl from the Washington Redskins, right? That was in the 80s. That was like 86. When Doug Williams was asked, when Colin Kaepernick made it to the Super Bowl and they called him up for an interview and was like, now you're seeing black quarterbacks get to the Super Bowl and, you're seeing this happening. Don't you think that the NFL has now changed? And, from when you were there, look how far you've come. Like, look, now we got Kaepernick in there. He's like, no, there's been no change. He's like, why not? Why not? You're surprised that they thought they was going to hear an answer and they didn't get that from Doug Williams. Doug said, no, nothing has changed. If it had changed, I wouldn't even be doing this interview about this. You wouldn't have called me to ask me about another black quarterback in the NFL when he just becomes a quarterback in the game. And it's just, okay, he's the quarterback for whatever team he's on. Then we made it. Then now we're accepted when he's just a quarterback for that team. Instead of him being the quarterback, instead of now he's the black quarterback, you're marginalizing it. What's the difference between the NFL and the WWE? The letters. Now, thanks to everybody who super chatted too. I appreciate that. Thank you. Love and support. My cash app is Carcino. That's Karceno. Ah, no. Yeah, it's a difficult time. It's a difficult thing to talk about. But that's what I'm saying. We are not gonna get anywhere until we get off the color restriction. We used to fight about this in the 1950s and 60s. Don't call me a black writer. Call me a writer. Don't call me a black actor. Call me an actor. Don't call me a black anything. Don't colorize me because now you marginalize it. We know it's good to want to champion and say, hey, I'm black and I'm proud. I'm proud to see some people there, but be proud of them for who they are, not proud of them as a color. Be like, man, I like Jalen Hurts, man, because he could actually play the game. I like the way he played the game. He's poised for a young quarterback. Don't just say, hey, I'm happy for Jalen Hurts, because he's black. I mean, we understand you want to root for somebody that look like you in this position to get to where he's at, but he didn't just get there because he's black. There's been a lot of black quarterbacks that didn't make it. And you almost like marginalize him as if he's a sympathy hire or something when you do stuff like that. I know what people mean and I know their intent when they say it, and it's a sense of pride, but you always marginalize them when you do stuff like that. Hmm. Well, that's the thing. Kwame and Jason Whitlock did an interview. Like I told you, I ain't mad at that. I thought they did a great interview. A lot of things he say, some people agree with. Like I'm saying, he's made some points that I've agreed with and said, yeah, I have the same view on that. But at the core, I know what he is. I know what he represents. So I don't want to talk to him. Like I wouldn't want to sit down and have a conversation with him at all. But just because this is what we were talking about with Ryan Clark, just because we might not all have the same ideas or same thing, we could still agree to disagree and not hate each other. I didn't have to call Kwame and just hate on Whitlock. There was no need for that. Just because I like steak, don't mean the next guy gotta like steak. And then he's like, man, I don't like steak. I mean, what the hell wrong with you? It's a porterhouse. It's grass fed porterhouse. Thanks, Lovelace. I appreciate it. Nobody got to eat what you eat. They ain't gotta like what you like. That's fine. But I just can't get behind a person like Whitlock at all because I know at the core what he is. No. Well, It goes like this. When people want to be involved with you, they do things to try to be involved with you. If people want to be seen next to you, they do things to want to be seen next to you. That's just how it is. That's how the movement is. How to fix the system? The system that's in place has to be broken in order to be fixed. So as long as the system is in play and it's not being broken, then nobody's gonna want to fix it. How do you tell somebody who's getting paid money to sit down on their butt that they got to get out and work for themselves and they need to get up and do something? They're gonna look at you like you crazy. Here's the thing I don't understand, and we need to get this as a people. You see, how I'm on the internet right now. Everybody's on the internet. You can graduate from college from being on the internet right now. You can graduate from college from here. You can become a pastor from the computer. You could become a minister. You could become anything you want in front of this computer legally. Over $530 billion is going and transferring per day on the internet. Are you a part of it? Are you getting any of that transaction? And why aren't you? That's where our mind needs to be. We're steadily every day making someone else rich and not getting anything for ourselves. And that's the end game. I'm out.